Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are ranking the best shooting guards in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM on a tier list. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 5,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload basically every single day, and I would really appreciate your support if you haven't already, if you do subscribe. Without further ado, not going to waste much time on the intro today. Let's hop right into it. Let's start off with Jaylen Brown, who's honestly a very solid card. Honestly, A or B tier, he's just a really solid all-around shooting guard, gets it done at a pretty high level. I'm gonna go B tier for now. I'm gonna try to be pretty strict on this list, to be completely honest, which is gonna be harder to do because as we get through the year, it becomes harder and harder to put cards lower on the tiers because all these cards become better and better, more complete with stats, badges, animations, things like that. But Jaylen Brown, solid card, 6'6" with a 6'11" wingspan. He's got decent size, hotspots from all 5 spots outside the 3, 21 hops, include fast twitch, limitless takeoff and posterizer, good shooting badges, quick first step, and great defensive badges as well. Can use badges like brick wall added, but he's nice and fast, good dunker, good shooter, really solid all-around defender, great defender. That's really his best attribute, I'd say. One thing that annoys me about the card is the fact that his drag back is really bad. I'm not even sure what sig that is that triggers the drag back, but it's very slow, which is super annoying. But his jumper's solid. I will say 75 on quick. While it's really easy to green, for whatever reason it seems to get contested much easier than a lot of other jumpers on quick, which definitely is annoying. And that he's good, but I don't feel like he's really next level great. So unfortunately, I'm going to put him in the B tier. I don't know if Justice Winslow. Goodness gracious, I forgot how to spell. But yeah, Justice Winslow, he's 6'6" with 6'9" wingspan, hot switch from 4 out of 5 spots, 11 hops, which is not a ton. He's got some good defensive badges though, quick first step, catch and shoot, and posterizer, good speed, decent defender, good dunker, solid shooter as well. Can use some badges added, but he's a diamond, so I wouldn't really pay to badge him out. Jump shot 20 is the same base as Ryan Scalabrine, so it's an acceptable release. Shifty dribble style, and his sigs again, they're okay, but they're not great. Jumper is also pretty decent. Stats and badges are solid, but not amazing. Overall, I don't think he's great, but I don't think he's horrible. I think C tier is probably a fair spot to put him. Scotty Pippen, I think I'm going to still put up in the A tier. I really do think Pippen is a really good card. Love the fact that he's 6'8", he's got great size, long wingspan as well, absolutely elite defender with a little bit of shooting, playmaking, and finishing ability as well. He's nice and fast, good dunker and shooter, but obviously an incredible defender, especially on the perimeter, but good on the interior as well, especially for a shooting guard. Quick dribble style, Kobe size, and Pippen behind the back gives him solid sigs. And jump shot 30 on quick may not be the fastest jumper in the world, but it's very smooth, easy to green. He's a really good card. I like him over JB, so I'm gonna put him in the A tier. AD, probably another A or... It's going to be tough to put cards low on this list, man. I don't know, because AD is a solid card at the shooting guard position specifically, which is what this ranking is for. I'm not sure. I don't know. Is he A or B tier? Because he's got great size, which is super nice. Sigs are not great at all, but he's a really good finisher and defender. Defensive stats are obviously incredible on the interior. He's going to be an amazing rebounder as well, but not the greatest of perimeter defenders, but he's got some solid perimeter defensive badges as well. Has elite size, obviously. AD release on quick is solid. Fundamental dribble style, not great, and that is annoying. He's not going to have the playmaking ability of a lot of other shooting guards in game, but he's a really great defender, has elite size, and those two things are very valuable. So for that reason, I do think he's probably an A tier guy. Carmelo is another guy I'm going to put an A tier on current gen. On current gen, he's not as good as next gen. This is a current gen list, so keep that in mind. But 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan, has really good size, hot spots from everywhere, 29 hops, and a really nice complete set of hops as well. Great defender, really fast, great shooter, really just all around stats are amazing. Carmelo release on very quick is really good. Unfortunately, he does step in from the corners on current gen, and sometimes even from the hashes, shoots long twos, which is kind of annoying. But shifty dribble style is decent. Kobe size up is great. Pippen behind the back is great. So sigs are decent. Jumper is solid, but he does step in from the corners. And stats and badges are really good. Overall, very good card. Not quite S tier in my opinion, but definitely a solid option. Richard Dumas, I think B tier is probably a fair spot to put him. Solid, free, triple threat offline card. 6'7" is decent size. 4 out of 5 hotspots, 27 hops. Another card with really well-rounded hops, which is nice. Solidly fast, good defensive stats, good dunker, solid shooter. He's got a good release. Jump shot 22 on quick. I wish it was on very quick, but even on quick, it's solid. Sigs are average at best. He's not great, but he's not horrible. He's a solid card. Definitely, I think B tier, along with a guy like Jalen Brown. Dr J is the third shooting. Is he? I don't know. Are we putting him in A or are we putting him in B? I'm sorry, A or S. Because Dr J, I think you could actually make an argument for him being in the S tier. There's only like 3. You know what? I'm gonna put Dr. J in S tier. I really do think he's a great card. One of the best cards on this list. Really am a huge fan of. Only 6'6", but the afro makes him look taller. Hot spots from everywhere. 29 hops, another really well-rounded Hall of Fame badge card. At least minimum of 6 Hall of Fame badges in every single area. 96 speed and excel. Really good defender, elite dunker, and elite shooter. Rudy Gay release on quick is one of my favorite releases on quick in the game. Quick dribble style. Kobe size up. Pippen behind the back gives him super solid sigs. Those are kind of the standard good sigs that most cards seem to get if they get good sigs. And yeah, Dr. J, really good all-around card. Definitely a big fan. Ben Wallace is also going B tier because unfortunately his lack of, I would say, offensive like shooting ability and elite sigs holds him back. But defensively, he's one of the best cards in this list. Every Hall of Fame badge is defensive, which is nice. Does need a bunch of shooting badges added, only a 74 shot 3, so you're gonna need a shoe and a coach to boost that up as well. But once you get those on him, he's a solid shooter. Obviously an incredible defender. Sigs are very mediocre, but the jumper is definitely good, which does help with the low 3-point rating. Once he's fully badged with a shoe and able to shoot the 3 better, I think he's a little bit higher, but honestly, I still think he's got to go in the B tier. Marquez Johnson is dude, it is going to be freaking hard to put cards lower than like B or C tier. I mean, I'm going to have to be nitpicking on this list, I think. But honestly, Marquis Johnson, another guy who's either A or B tier. He's just a solid card. 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan, hot shots from both corners. Wish he had him from all 5, but the corners are fine. Another really well-rounded Hall of Fame badge card, which is super nice. Minimum of 6 in every area. Really good defender, nice and fast, decent shooter, and elite slasher. Jump shot 8 on very quick is a good jumper. Quick dribble style is nice. The rest of his sigs, not great, but quick dribble style is nice to have. I think he's good enough to be an A tier guy. I feel like I gotta be picky, and there's so many good shooting guards in the game. I'm gonna leave him B tier. I'm gonna be honest. I think he's the best card in B tier, but I still would take the guys in A tier over him right now. Chris Mullen, I think, is going to have to be our second S tier shooting guard. Really good card. I'm a huge fan of him, especially on current gen. 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan. Hot spots from everywhere. 24 hops include a ton of shooting badges, quick first step, and good defensive badges, as well as handles for days. Really good defender, nice and fast. Stats are great. I mean, the stats on the vast majority of these cards are really good. But jump shot 22 on very quick is a great release. Quick dribble style. He's got the Curry slide, the Curry size up, Pippen behind the back. Overall, elite sigs. He's a really good two-way card. Definitely a beast at the shooting guard position. Billy Owens, I don't know. I feel like putting him in C tier might be gassing him a little bit. Might be a little low on the card because he is 6'8", and he's got 15 hops, which includes some good finishing badges, quick first step, and good defensive badges. He's a solid defender. 95 driving dunk, 94 speed and excel, good shooter. Danilo Gallinari release on quick is solid. Shifty dribble style, Kobe sides, and Pippen behind the back. I'm sorry, I got to put him in B tier. I'm gonna have to be. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to put a lot of cards in the B tier in this video because Billy Owens is a solid card as well. RJ Barrett, is he C tier at this point? I still have used this card in a couple accounts this season, grinding unlimited. So he's 6'6" with a 6'10" wingspan. So he's got acceptable size. Hops from 4 out of 5 spots. 12 hops include limitless takeoff, posterizer, catch, good playmaking badges, clamps, interceptor, and menace. Good defensive stats, good shooter, good speed, good dunker. All those things. Another card with really good stats. Needs a couple badges added, but he's got Rudy Gay based on quick, which, like I said, is a jumper that I'm a big fan of. Also his quick dribble style, Pippen behind the back. He's got decent movement. Yeah, he's a good card. I don't know, but I can't put everyone in the B tier, but it feels like most of these guys are B tier level guys. It's just tough to put cards low on this list at this point in the game, so I don't know. Grayson Allen is undersized. That's really his biggest flaw, to be completely honest, is the fact that he's only 6'4". That's a big flaw. Not crazy fast either, statistically not great. Shooting badges are amazing. The rest of his badges are okay. Good dunker, I guess. Jump shot 4 on very quick is a solid jumper, and his sigs are acceptable, but the lack of size is definitely an issue, and like I said, gotta be nitpicky, especially as we get later into the year. Also not an elite defender, so I think we can put him in the C tier. Elgin Baylor is like, I don't know, I feel like he's one of the worst cards on this list, so in that respect, he's probably a D tier guy, right? But I don't feel like he's a terrible card. That being said, he's only 6'5", so he's small. He's got really nice stats, and badges are acceptable, but not elite badges. Most of his badges are finishing, which isn't the most valuable thing in the world. Yeah, Brook Lopez released on quick is good, but on a shooting guard, you'd like a maybe a little bit better release. Quick dribble style is nice, but the rest of his sigs aren't great. I don't feel like he's super complete, and unfortunately, I feel like that does hold the card back a little bit. I don't absolutely love the release either, and being a little bit undersized as well. I think D tier is where he goes. Now, Kevin Huerter, I feel like if I put RJ Barrett in B tier, I also have to put Kevin Huerter in B tier. They're on the same level as cards as top budget shooting guards, and yeah, he's a very solid card. Let's see if we can find his name. I probably could have just typed it in further, but 6'7", same wingspan. It's a little short, so that's annoying, but 5 hotspots, 12 hops include limitless takeoff, posterizer, blinders, catch, limitless sniper, quick first step, and good defensive badges. Defensive stats are also really good on the perimeter. Good speed, good shooter, good dunker. Another card with great stats. Trae Young release on quick, like I said with Rudy Gay, one of my favorite releases on quick in the game. It's also one of the fastest fastest releases on quick in the game, which also makes it super nice. Shifty dribble style, KD size up, Pippen behind the back, so he's got acceptable sigs. Overall, I just think he's a pretty good card. Like another guy, pro tube between the legs as well. He moves well. He's got a great release, acceptable sigs. Badges are pretty good. He's another solid card. I think B tier is the move. Evan Mobley, I'm going to put in C tier simply because despite his size, he doesn't have very good movement, and unfortunately not the fastest card in the world either. He is a good defender, which is nice, but I just feel like I have to be picky. He's got catch and shoot and limitless spot up, which are good. Jump shot is it's acceptable. It's pretty good. Fundamental dribble style. He doesn't have any sort of movement, especially for a shooting guard, and he doesn't have elite like interior ability, especially for a 7-footer. But he's a good card, and it's hard to put a guy like that in the C tier. But I just don't think he plays that well at this point in the game. So I think C tier is still probably a fair spot to put him. Eddie Johnson. 97 overall, shooting guard, 6'7" with a 6'7" wingspan, just like Herder. 92 speed and excel, just like Herder. Stats are acceptable, but don't jump off the page. Amazing. Defensive badges, also no Hoff clamps, ankle braces, ball stripper, intimidator, pick dodger, things like that. So that's a bit annoying that he doesn't have the best defensive badges. Needs a lot of badges added as well. He needs shooting and defensive badges added, as well as maybe even a couple playmaking badges. Not really. But jump shot 31 on quick is a solid jumper. Quick dribble style, but the rest of his sigs aren't great. Yeah, he's another guy who's just not crazy complete. I think he's C tier. All right, Jimmy Butler, I would say, is a pretty definitive S tier. He's definitely a very, very good card. Honestly, the best of the shooting guards in this S tier, in my opinion, so far. Comes with a 6'7" height. Not the greatest on wingspans, but hot spots are everywhere. 29 hoffs include pretty well-rounded hoffs. Elite defensive hoffs is great, but also good playmaking hoffs. Decent finisher and catch and sniper are good shooting badges. 95 speed and excel, 93 shot 3. Really good dunker. Really elite defender, even on the interior, which is super valuable. Jump shot 22 on very quick. Like I said with Mullen, very, very good jumper. I really like it. Shifty dribble style and Pippen behind the back give him pretty good sigs as well. I feel like he's an absolutely incredible defender with a really good release, and that makes for an amazing 3-and-D shooting guard, but also the playmaking ability, especially with the playmaking hoffs. Definitely a huge fan of this card. I think Jimmy's a great, great option. Excuse me, sorry. Jerry Stackhouse. I don't know, man. I think, again, C tier. 6'6", who doesn't have the greatest of size. 4 out of 5 hotspots is nice. 19 hoffs, and he's got some pretty decent ones. But again, not the best defensive hoffs besides interceptors, so that's a little annoying. Defensive stats also aren't amazing. He's a really, really good slasher and acceptable shooter. Jump shot 1 on quick is not my favorite release for a shooting guard, though. Quick dribble style is nice, but the rest of his sigs are not very good either. He's another guy with flaws, similar to the other guys in C tier, and because of that, I feel like he is definitely in that C tier as well. Another guy that I'm going to put in C tier is Desmond Bane, who is undersized. That's his first issue, is only 6'5", short wingspan. Hot spots are almost everywhere, but 22 hoffs include a massive amount of shooting badges and quick first step, as well as some good defensive badges, good defensive stats as well, but doesn't have great speed, not an elite dunker. And then the jumper, which I do think is really good, but his sigs are not amazing either. So being undersized, not an incredible, I wouldn't say, like athlete, and also having mediocre sigs, that's a couple of flaws too many for me. So unfortunately, I think he's going to go in the C tier as well. I'm looking at this list. Is there anybody that I can put in the F tier on this list? I'm looking at this. This is going to be hard to do. But that being said, Kawhi, despite the fact that he has fundamental dribble style, I really do still believe is A because of how incredible of a defender he still is in my team. His wingspan is amazing. His height is good. He's got an awesome player build. Hot shots are almost everywhere. 22 hoffs include great shooting badges, quick first step, and amazing defensive badges. He's one of the best defensive cards in the game statistically. Super fast, great shooter, and great dunker. Jumper is amazing. Ray Allen release, even on quick, is a jumper I'm a huge fan of. Kawhi dribble style, which is fundamental, is a bit of an issue. And the Kawhi behind the back is decent. So behind the back that not a ton of people cards have gotten, but it's Pro 5 and it's pretty good. I mean, he's a really, really good card. The one flaw with the card is definitely the movement, but I feel like he's such an amazing defender and such an amazing catch and shoot guy as well that it kind of overlooks it, similar to AD. And so yeah, for that reason, I'm putting him A tier. Klay Thompson. I know he's a dark matter and he's a hyped name and all that, and his diamond was the best card in the game for a while. But Klay at only 6'6" without Hall of Fame quick first step, that is definitely a relatively significant flaw. Also, the jumper on quick. Klay's jumper on quick is good, but it is not great at all anymore. His sigs are pretty good, but they're also not jump off the page amazing. He's a really, really elite shooter, but like I said, with the jumper being a tiny bit on the slow side at this point in the year, that's not what you love to see. He's a really good defender, but without elite playmaking ability and with a somewhat mediocre jumper, I don't think I can really honestly put him higher than B tier. Ray Allen, another dark matter. A lot of people have him. He was the level 40 reward, easy to get, but another guy I'm putting in the C tier. Not an amazing card. Undersized, only 22 hollows for dark matter, which isn't an amazing amount, and most of them are shooting badges. He is a really good shooter. He's got the Ray Allen release on quick, which, like I said, with Kawhi's jumper, I'm a big fan of. But SIGs are really mid. Defensive stats are good, but the defensive badges aren't amazing. He's not an elite playmaker, especially with the mediocre SIGs, and not an incredible finisher, even though his finishing badges, fast twitch and posterizer are good. He has a 95 driving dunk. He's a good-ish card, but he's not amazing. One of the best cards in C tier, I would say, but still not any higher than C tier, probably for me. Clyde Drexler. I don't know, probably A tier, I'd say. I think that's probably fair. He's a good card. I don't have Clyde, but I've used him on a few accounts. 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan is pretty good size. Hot switch from everywhere. 25 hops include limitless takeoff, posterizer, fast twitch, good shooting badges, good playmaking badges, and good defensive badges. The well-rounded hops is a nice thing to have. Well-rounded stats as well is great. Jumper is also solid. Jump shot 5 on quick is pretty good, decently fast. Quick dribble style gives him good SIGs. I'm sorry, gives him the best dribble style, but the rest of his SIGs are pretty mediocre. Like I said, his biggest flaw, kind of like a couple of these other cards, is average SIGs, but he's still a very good all-around card and another A tier guy. I think some of y'all might have an issue with this, but I'm not putting Paul George in S tier. I'm gonna be completely honest. There's one other guy on this list as well that y'all are going to take issue with me not putting in S tier, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, PG, he's good. But unfortunately, the jumper is just a tiny bit slow, kind of like with Jaylen Brown. It's really easy to contest for whatever reason. Obviously, he's got elite size. He's got really good all-around badges. He's super fast, shifty dribble style. The rest of his SIGs aren't amazing, but the Pippen behind the back is good. Like I said with Jaylen Brown, because his release is really easy to contest, that's a relatively significant flaw on a card, I feel like. Despite how good he is, and on paper he's absolutely incredible, I don't think he's a top 5 shooting guard on current gen right now. So for me personally, I'm going to put him in the A tier. He's the best card in A tier, but I don't think he's quite S tier for me. Duncan Robinson. I haven't looked at this card a ton, but he's either C or D, I'd say. 6'7" is good, but he's kind of slow. Not an elite defender at all. Defensive badges are not very good. Playmaking badges, same thing. So the lack of playmaking or defense, the SIGs being average, but a little bit slow. For jump shot 4 down quick is not a great jumper. He's one of the worst cards in this list, and I feel like I got to put some guys down in those low tiers. So Duncan Robinson, you're going to be one of them. Alex English, yet another pretty good but not amazing shooting guard option. Like, he's pretty solid, but he's not incredible. 6'7" is decent height. Hotspots are pretty good. Badges are also pretty good. Like, his badges are solid. Defensive stats are pretty good. Overall stats just are solid. Carmelo release on quick is nice. SIGs are okay. He's average. I mean, he's good, but he's not OD amazing. He's just a solid card. One of the better cards in B tier, but I'm unfortunately not going to put him higher than that. Cedric Maxwell is the other card that I am fully expecting y'all to have issues with where I rank him, and I'm putting him in A tier just like with Paul George. That's because I'm only putting 5 guys in S tier, and I feel like Cedi, as good as he is definitely better on next gen. What he does have going for him, he's got really good size. Badges are pretty good. Unfortunately, his shooting badges are not amazing. Like, the badges they gave him aren't the best ones, and he also doesn't have Hoff Interceptor, which is a badge you'd like to see on Hall of Fame, but he has amazing stats. Obviously, he has base 3 on very quick, which obviously is an amazing jump shot as well. Quick dribble style, Kobe size up. Full court SIGs though aren't great. His other half court SIGs, the size up and the combo, are also not amazing. I don't know, man. He's decent, but he just isn't a jump off. I mean, he's very, very good. He's an A tier guy, just like PG, right up at the top of A tier, but I don't feel like he's top 5. So for me, that's not an S tier guy. Giannis is, I think, an S tier guy at the shooting guard position, especially if you have a primary ball handler next to him like MJ at the point guard. Giannis is 6'11" with 7'4" wingspan. He's got amazing size. He's basically Anthony Davis, but better. He's a better defender than AD. He's got slightly better finishing badges than AD. Statistically, he's better than AD, faster, better all-around defensive stats. And the jumper, I am also a big fan of. Giannis release on quick is still pretty fast, very smooth, and really easy to green. Just like with AD, fundamental dribble style. So that does hurt him, but I will say, because I love the jumper and I think he's an amazing two-way card as well as an elite defender, I do think he's an S tier guy, whereas AD, I only have an A tier. And then we have MJ, who, just like at the PG position, is an absolute shoo-in for S tier. If you're running Ben Simmons at PG and MJ at the 2, that's probably the best starting lineup you can run in my team in terms of your backcourt. 6'6" with a 6'11" wingspan. Hots are everywhere. 25 hops include great finishing badges, solid shooting badges, elite playmaking badges, and really good defensive badges. His stats are also absolutely amazing across the board. A lot of 95 and up. MJ release on very quick is the best jumper in the game, at least arguably in terms of its uncontestability and ability to green consistently. Quick dribble style, perfect. He's basically got perfect SIGs. He's got the best SIGs in my team as well, which is absolutely amazing, especially with his size and his defense and his uncontestable unbelievable jumper. He's the best shooting guard in the game, in addition to being the best point guard in the game. Absolutely amazing card for sure. Jay Rich. Is Jay Rich D tier? I feel like I might be gassing a little bit, putting Jay Rich all the way down in D tier. 6'6" is decent size. 21 hoffs include some good finishing badges, some decent defensive badges. Yeah, he's not D tier. I'm gassing. I'll move him up to C tier. 95 speed excel, solid defense. His stats are good. I don't love this jump shot 56. I mean, it's on Chris Middleton. I feel like it's better. I don't feel like his upper kind of throws it off or whatever. It's just weird. But shifty dribble style and the rest of his SIGs are also mediocre. So not great SIGs. A jumper that I'm not the hugest fan of, and I don't feel like he plays defense quite like the badges say that he does. He's not a bad card by any means. Probably one of the best cards, if not the best card in C tier. But again, I'm putting him down there just a bit. Tmac. I don't know. Here's the issue with Tmac. He's 6'8", which is great and everything, and he's got amazing stats. Badges are really good. Hoff clamps, but no other Hall of Fame defensive badges is questionable, but his defensive stats are really good, and he is 6'8", so he's got good size. But the release on normal timing is a question mark. It's a really good release. It's very smooth. It's very easy to grade, but you want to see that on quicker, very quick at this point in the year. Slasher dribble style as well is horrible. And those are two really significant flaws. So as good as Tmac is, and I think his next card could be amazing, I'm going to move him down to C tier because his SIGs are not great and he's got his jump shot on normal timing. That's two really significant flaws. So for me, C tier is the way to go. Jerry Sloane is probably not D tier. I don't know. I'm putting him in D tier, but I'll probably wind up moving him up. 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan. Hots from everywhere. 27 hoffs. Really well-rounded hoffs as well. Great defensive stats. He doesn't have great size, but his stats are really good besides the dunking. Jump shot 40, I'm very quick. It's not my favorite jumper in the world, but I'm very quick. It's a lot better. Kobe sides up as well is nice. Shifty dribble style. Yeah. He's another really pretty good card. I can't not put him in the C tier. I mean, he's up there. One of the better cards in C tier. Definitely another really solid option. I don't know, man. I feel like I got to move a couple cards down, and the guys that I'm not a big fan of in this tier are the Grayson Allens, the Eddie Johnsons, the Jerry Stackhouses. So for me, I'm going to move those guys down just a bit. But Terry, I think, does still get into the A tier. He's not as good as your Mullen or your Cedric, which are the other two shooting guard lock-ins from the decade set, and I guess he is better than Klay, though. But 6'7" with a 7'3" wingspan is really good size. He's basically got Kawhi's player build, which is nice. Hots from everywhere, 24 hoffs, good Hall of Fame badge as well. Another card with no interceptor, though, no handles for days, no chef, so those hoffs would be nice to have. But he's got pretty good defensive stats, solidly fast, good shooter, good dunker. Rudy Gay, release on quick, like I've said, is good. I wish it was on very quick. That would really be nice. But his SIGs are also solid. Quick dribble style, Pippen behind the back. Half-court SIGs are not amazing. He was absolutely incredible as a pink diamond. Even this card was really, really good when he dropped as a dark matter. But he's not better than a few of these guys, and all the guys in S tier and a few of the guys in A tier. So I'm definitely going to put him in the A tier for me. Albert King is another A tier guy. I feel like he's definitely another really, really good card. 6'6" with a 6'9" wingspan. Hot spots from everywhere. 27 hoffs include good finishing badges, catch and shoot, quick for step, and an absolute ton of defensive badges, even interior badges, which is really valuable. Really, really great defensive stats, good shooter, solid, good speed, good dunker, and solid shooter, especially once you get a shoe on him. Maybe add the chef badge as well. And the jumper's good. Ray Allen release on very quick is a really, really good release, which is definitely super nice. Quick dribble style as well with the Kawhi behind the back gives him acceptable SIGs, but with a really good jumper and absolutely incredible defensive badges as well as really good defensive stats and solid enough SIGs. Yeah, the jumper makes up for the lack of shooting badges just a bit, and he's definitely an A tier guy to me. Glenn Robinson is another guy that I just don't love in my team. I'll be honest. His pink diamond card at the beginning of the year was an amazing card, but at this point in the year, unfortunately, he's not quite it. 6'7" is decent size, but he's not stupid fast. Good shooter, good dunker, solid enough defender. Badge-wise is pretty well-rounded. Jump shot 29 on quick is a solid jumper. Quick dribble style is good. The rest of his SIGs, though, aren't great. The jumper's not OD amazing. His badges are really solid, but he doesn't play incredible in game on either end. He's a good card. I feel like he's good enough that I can't really put him in C tier, but he's not a card I personally am a massive fan of at this point. Mo Pete has solid size at 6'7", but he's just not the greatest. Defensive stats are really mediocre, which hurts. Badges, besides Clamps and Intimidator, aren't great either. Mostly shooting badges, which is nice, but not the end-all, be-all. Jump shot 14 on quick is not the greatest jumper in the world either, but it's pretty good. Shifty dribble style and Kobe size up is fine. The rest of his SIGs, though, are not great either. He's another guy with too many flaws to be super high on this list, so for me, I'm still putting him in the D tier. Rocco is an absolute lock on the defensive end of the court, and that is a very, very valuable thing to have. Also has an elite release. So he's another 3-and-D guy, similar to Kawhi in a lot of ways. Little slow, not the greatest of dunkers, only 2 shooting badges, and then all of the rest of them are defensive badges, but he's an absolutely elite defender. Jump shot 63 on very quick is also a very smooth and fast release. Shifty dribble style and Kobe size up gives him a little bit of movement. I feel like very similarly to Kawhi, he's not on paper the greatest shooting guard in the game, but he plays so good in game that I really can't put him anywhere else but A tier. Vince Carter is going in the is going to go in the the B tier. No, I'm sorry, the A tier. 6'6" with a 6'9" wingspan, so he's got acceptable size, 97 speed and excel, solid defender, great dunker, good shooter, well-rounded badges all the way around is really nice. Bench release on very quick is a really solid release as well. Shifty dribble style, Kobe size up, Pippen behind the back are the pretty standard, solid, but not amazing SIGs in my team. Wish he had quick, but overall, the drag back on the card is probably the worst part, just like Jaylen Brown. I don't love the drag back. Maybe it's the moving crossover SIG, because for whatever reason, his drag back is slow, just like Jaylen Brown's. Besides that, he's a very, very good card for sure. And you know what? I'm actually just going to delete this row because I'm not putting anybody in F tier in this video. I think this is the fairest tier list that I can make right now in terms of just having 5 tiers. I think that's the fairest way to do it. And Kobe is another guy who is going to go in the B tier. I put Tmac in C. So it only makes sense that I put Kobe above him because Kobe's a better option than Tmac. The biggest flaw with Kobe for sure is the fact that his jumper is unnormal, which is an issue with Tmac as well. But thankfully, Kobe has solid SIGs. His signature combo is one that only he has in game. No, I'm sorry, his signature size up is one that only he has in game, which is that Kobe's tween that you can do with him, which is super nice. Kobe's size up as well. Shifty dribble style, but his shifty does feel better than a lot of people's. Doesn't have Hall of Fame quick for stepper handles for days. That is definitely annoying, but you can find a lot of Kobe's on the auction house with those badges because he was a big card for a while, and a card that a lot of people badged out very significantly. So if you can find those badges, that helps out with Kobe as well. I really look forward to the next Kobe in the game though, because instead of having normal timing, he's going to have quick, or probably hopefully very quick, and so that will take him to the next level easily. Glenn Rice is yet another B tier guy. I feel like he's honestly on a very similar level to Kevin Huerter and RJ Barrett. He's 6'7" with a good release, which is nice. And stats wise is pretty acceptable all the way around. Badge wise, same thing. Ton of shooting badges, not the greatest defensive badges, but these 3 are good to have. He's got 98 on quick, which is a good release. Like I've said with Wade, Andre Karolinko, 98 on quick is a very good release, even on quick and not very quick timing. SIGs are not great. That's a bit of a complaint. In addition to the fact that I just don't feel like he plays the greatest of defense in the world, despite having a couple of good defensive hops and solid defensive stats. But he's another solid card, and I think B tier is the fair spot for him. And then we have Kazi, who's one of the best playmakers on this list. Basically Cedric Maxwell in many forms. 6'5", so he's a little undersized, but hops are everywhere. 21 hops include really well-rounded Hall of Fame badges. Good defender, good shooter, good dunker, good speed. Jump shot 3 on quick. He's a very smooth, quick, and easy to grade and release. Quick dribble style, Kobe size up as well. He's basically just Cedric Maxwell, but not as good. And while Cedric is one of the best cards in A tier, I think Kazi is toward the back end of A tier, but I still think he's good enough that he does make his way into A tier on this list. So this is my tier list right now of the best shooting guards in the game. Let me know what you think of the list down in the comment section down below. Who do you disagree with? Who do you agree with? Is there anybody that was accidentally left off this list that we may have missed? Feel free to leave a comment about any of those things down in the comment section down below. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very soon. And I appreciate y'all. Peace.